Sorry folks, this has got the big tank like the GS Adventure. If you fill it up to the brim, it shows well over 300 mile range. I'll do that again.
With one heel against the wall.
Morning folks, how are we doing? Well, it's like this. Yeah, well, everything was charged up, all gear were out, but you know what, absolutely skint, absolutely skint. Got a family 60th tonight, but obviously like a lot of you, got paid on the 20th of December. I don't get paid till Monday, Faye don't get paid till Tuesday, and money's tight. So we had a quick hour out, as you can probably see by the crap all over the bike. Yeah, we had a quick hour out, and then had to decide between put it fuel it car, put it fuel in Faye's car, put it fuel in that, and other bits. So I said, hang on, let's leave it a couple of days. So yeah, we only managed, well, we didn't even manage an hour. It was probably 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. Weather was miserable, as you know. It's the fog round here is not really lifted. It's been about what? About a week now, a week and a bit. It's been miserable and well, basically just crap. But we have been asked over and over and over again, as everyone does, is the Africa Twin. How does it compare to the GS that we had, or the two GSs that we had, and the crosstourer and what have you? So we've done, what, just over 5,000 miles on this. We've only used it for tours, done 3 small tours on it, well, 1 big one, 2 little ones. And I've not really rode it much, local stuff, done a few rides, but nothing major. Sort of fell out a bit, fell out of love of riding local, as you do. Might be alright this year, because as you know, last year we had a bit of financial trouble, as you do. The old dosage just wasn't there. But yeah, first off, it's got to be said, what were Honda thinking about putting tube tyres on the Adventure Sport model? Exhaust are looking grotty as well, I'll have to give them a clean. Anyway, yeah, what were they thinking about? I can really understand it on the standard model, because it's a bit lighter, you can pressure the tyres down, better off-road than that, but what were they thinking about? That's my biggest bugbear with this bike. To be honest, everything else, the chain drive, all that stuff, I can put up with. I can put up with all that, but the tube tyres are an absolute ache. Yeah, but it's all getting sorted. Yeah, it's all getting sorted. We've got the Altex kit for the front and back wheel on this. We was going to put it on this weekend, but we're changing the tyres probably end of April, maybe May. Going slightly more off-road, not much, because we've got a few plans just for to do a bit of a laugh more than out, and just as well doing it when we change the tyres over. So I'm going to do that. As I said, I can't understand why they put it on this. The standard one, fair enough, I get it, I do get it, but on this one I don't. Obviously the 2020 model has got tubeless. This should have had that. Keep saying we should go for a test ride, hide this somewhere, swap wheels over and take it back. So we've got tubeless then. Yeah. Wonder how long, in all honesty, wonder how long it'll be before the dealer noticed that we put these wheels, you know, if we put them immaculate so they were really gleaming. Wonder how long the dealer would take him to notice that we'd put our wheels on it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. But yeah, that's my biggest bugbear with this. Now, the next one is this. It's not got cruise control. Now, that is a big thing for some people. And with the bike itself having a ride-by-wire throttle, it seems criminal. It seems criminal that it's not got it. I honestly couldn't give a toss. It's not something for me, cruise control, but I know it is for a lot of people. So I think they should have put it on as they have done on the 2020, as they have done with the tubeless wheels on the 2020. So in a way, I suppose they've listened to what people have whinged about, and they've changed it, haven't they? They've sorted job out. But they're my two proper gripes. Other than that, I've not got really any gripes about it. Now, how do I think it compares? So how does it compare to the GS that we had? Well, two complete different bikes, aren't they? Mainly price-wise. This is a shitload cheaper. I'll cut to the chase straight away. If money was no object, I probably would go with a GS Adventure. But I'm struggling, other than the tubeless tyres, which we are sorting, and the cruise control, I'm struggling to find anything wrong with this. I really have thought about this, and for me, as the rider, I will say this, for me as the rider, I find this comfier than a GS, but Faye prefers the back seat on the GS. She's alright on this, don't get me wrong, she's alright, but she does prefer the back seat on the GS, a bit more space for movabouts. So that is the first point I would make out. For a pillion, the GS probably edges it. Engine-wise, now people call these, they say, oh, it's only got 98 horsepower or whatever. I've never found it a problem. At the top end, you're probably going to lose a bit of gas compared to the GS, but these days with speed cameras everywhere and that, it's not that big of a deal. And if you drop a tooth on the front sprocket of one of these, yes, you will lose probably 7-8 mile an hour off top end. Some people are saying 15 mile an hour, but I think the actual figure's 8 mile an hour you'll lose at top end. But that means it brings it down from what, 127 to 120. Still quick enough, isn't it? But then through the gears, it flies through gears. But that's just, it's personal taste, isn't it? It really is personal taste. We've had this, we've done 5,000 mile, well just over, about 5,500 mile on this now, and it's never missed a beat. Not a thing wrong with it, it's never had to go back to the dealer. It still looks like new. It's been alright, it really has. The GS we had a couple of fuel pump issues. It never actually stopped the bike, but it affected the dashboard. We had warning lights flashing and all that, but that's the only thing with the GS that we had a problem with. Now, one of our mates has got the new 1250, and rightly so, it's been in garage about 10 times now. Odd problems, nothing major, nothing catastrophic, but it has actually stopped him at side of the road 3 times now. He's had to get recovery out. But it's only just come out, you're going to get teething problems like anything. Hence why they've changed this, haven't they? They've seen what people have whinged about, the tyres, the cruise control, the Tft Display. That's another thing I'm not really asked about, Tft Display. It does look cool, all the rest of it, but the one on this tells you everything you need for it now. I've never wanted for more than what this tells you. Yeah, let's have a look. Sorry about the reflection, folks. I can't do a great deal about that, but yeah. There's nothing on there that I don't need. It's got your rev counter, it's got your gear position indicator. You've got your power mode, engine braking, traction control mode. You've got your range, your air temperatures. You've got your time. Fuel gauge is brilliant on it. I don't need any more than that. Any more is just a bit of a distraction to me. But I do get it. They look cool. They do look cool. But I'm all right with that. I'm perfectly all right with that. I know they've changed this on the new model as well, but that bit is the main weak point of this bike, honestly. As a touring bike, the rear shock on this is absolutely shocking. Like what I did there. No, I know that was terrible. That. No, but it is. It's disgraceful. The rear shock is absolutely disgraceful on this for any kind of load carrying 2 up. It does bottom out unbelievably easy. But as you know, we put a K-Tech rear spring on that, and it's transformed the bike for what? I think was it 68 quid, 69 quid it was, and it's transformed it. Some might say it shouldn't have to do that, and it possibly shouldn't. But I suppose they can't make it right for everyone. That's me only. I'm just trying to defend it a bit there, and I don't know. They can't make it right for everyone, but yeah, we put that spring on, and it's transformed the bike. As you can see, manual preload adjuster there. Not really into all this electric suspension stuff for me, just something else to go wrong. We've had the forks set up at K suspension, and that was, what, 9 months ago. And I've not altered them since, and they've been great. They've been great, so I'm alright with that. I don't want them altering, they're fine. The rear shock's set up for compression and rebound, and I've not altered that either. We've just left it as it is, completely as it got set up professionally, and we've left it, and it's been fine. But yeah, as you probably know, the Adventure Sport's got the larger tank, which is, when you fill it up to the brim, it shows just over 300 mile. I think it's about 320 it shows as a range, but realistically, 2 up with luggage, we get about 275, which isn't bad. Pretty much comparable with GS Adventure, not much in it. As well, obviously, when you load it up and there's 2 of you, you are a bit of a drag on the old fuel economy, but we still get about 270 miles to tank, which, if you travel a distance, it's not the fact that you're going to do that. Like I'll be saying, it doesn't matter. You're probably not going to do that in one hit. It's the fact that you can fill up when you feel like it and when you need to. You don't need to fill up at a certain point. You're not getting to like 150 miles and saying, right, let's go and find a fuel station. You can just fill up as and when. And obviously, with it being wider at the front, it does take a bit of, you probably can't tell on there, but it does take a bit of wind off. And a few people have gone about the buffeting. I don't get it. I don't, like I said, with that flipper on screen there, or kicker or spoiler or whatever you want to call it, I don't get a thing on it. It's perfectly still there behind it. It's great. But like I said, everyone to their own, horses for courses and all that. But yeah, just as a comparison, there's not much in it. The bikes, they've got engines, they'll take you anywhere. These days, most bikes are 100% reliable, aren't they? There's not much. Once it's been tried and tested and they've ironed all the problems out, there's not much. We've not had a single issue with this. It's been absolutely great. But yeah, loving it, living the dream. Yeah, money no object. I probably would just probably go with the GS Adventure. Probably. Not much in it though. Not much in it. If you've got enough money to get one of these, like say, you can get these now for what, 8 grand, hardly any miles on, and it's been faultless. It'll do the job all day long. Just the wheels. That's my biggest bugbear. My biggest bugbear is the wheels on it. There's just absolutely no need for tube tyres in this day and age, unless you're doing serious off-road. One part on this where I would say it was better than the older GS is the gearbox. The gearbox on this is silky smooth. It is. You can change without the clutch. Obviously, this is the manual, not the DCT, but you can change out the clutch without an issue. It's really, really smooth. I love it. And as you probably know, the bars on the Adventure Sports, they're up a bit and back a bit, which make all the difference. It's unbelievably comfortable. It is like just sat on a motocross bike. When you stretch your arms out, they go exactly to where you'd expect the bars to be. It just suits me. But as I said before, that is horses for courses, isn't it? It won't suit everyone. It will not suit everyone because there's no getting away from the fact it's really, really tall as well. I've got the seat at the lowest position, and until Faye's on back, I'm pretty much tiptoes. It's got to be said. But you also find on motorway, as I said in a few videos, the gap between the seat and the peg is quite long. So you don't have to relax your legs at all. You know when you ride along and you let your legs dangle after being on motorway for a bit. I've never had to do that on this. Probably the only bike I've ever owned where I don't have to do that. Mile munching, I think you give that to the GS. If you're just tramping on that motorway all day, because sometimes you've got to do it, don't you, forget somewhere, you know, when you've got to get a massive day in, the GS would have that. It does, like, you know, steady 80 on motorway, you know what I mean? Steady 80 on motorway, the GS eats it up. And this isn't bad, it's just not quite as refined at that kind of speed. Through the gears, through towns, through the twisties, I prefer this. But if it was just mile munching on motorway, I'd have to give that to the GS. I know it's not the end of the world before people say you can change it. You can, like I say, I've been riding bikes 30 odd years now. I could possibly change that without any mither, but you can guarantee when you get the puncture, you're going to be either on a busy motorway, you're going to be at middle of nowhere, it's got to be lashing down, dark. You're never going to get it in an ideal situation, are you? You're going to get it at the worst possible time. And I just can't be doing it. I'd rather just plug and play. I'd rather just do that. So for me, it's preference. I'm going tubeless on it. Obviously, you've got to lose a bit of unsprung weight then as well. So the wheels will rotate a bit quicker and what have you. And we have got the sprocket, the tooth smaller sprocket on front. Because the difference that makes is, especially 2 up with luggage. 1 up, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to change the sprockets. But 2 up with luggage, I think dropping a tooth up front, because because obviously then you don't have to get a different chain, because obviously if you're dropping a tooth up front is the equivalent of putting 3 on the back, which will make the rear sprocket a lot bigger. And then possibly if your chains on the max, it won't fit. But if you just drop one up front, your chain should still be all right. There's still plenty of adjustment left, as you can see there. Loads of adjustment left on that. So yeah, that's it. A lot of plans for this year. Oh yeah, go to XL in 2 weeks. I think it's the Saturday the 15th, going to bike show at XL in London. We're stopping at Docklands. We was going to stop at middle of London and get the train, but after the palaver with the NEC train, which got cancelled by Virgin, got our money back and that, but that's not the problem, is it? We're going in car. So we're going in car first thing Saturday morning, check into the hotel, or at least park the car at the hotel, and then walk to XL. And we'll be there all day, and then a few drinks around the local area at the night. So anyone's there, come and say hello, have a beer, have a chat. You know what I mean? It's all good. It's all good, isn't it? So anyway, for now, just wanted to do a quick review on this. It was pointless coming out. I think camera's charged, all the rest of it, and not doing anything. So hopefully next time you see us, we'll be out on the road doing a bit, and the weather might have brightened up a bit than this dull, crap, windy, murky weather. Anyway, thanks for watching this. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe down below. You don't have to watch the videos, you know what I mean, but if you subscribe and what have you, it does help. It does help. We don't get no out of it, like, but you know what I mean, it does help the channel and keeps us all friends and what have you, doesn't it? So anyway, for now, I'm going to rag off, put the bike away. I'll probably clean it tomorrow, I can't be doing with it now. I'm going to walk the dog, I think. So anyway, folks, thanks for watching this. Do appreciate it. See you all later. Ta-ra.